This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, I know we have some. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the June 6, 2024 meeting of the Regional Flood Planning Group at 2 p.m. I'm going to ask Kendall to call the roll, please.
Thank you. Brian Yonta. Brian, I see you online. Dave Wegman.
Present.
Thank you. Derek Bay.
Here.
Thank you. Doris Cooksey.
Here.
Thank you. Miss Annalisa Peace for Debbie Reed.
Present.
Thank you. Nefi Garza.
Here.
Thank you. Kara Tackett.
Present.
Thank you. Jeff Carroll.
Present.
Thank you. Robert Reyna. John Beasley. Suzanne Scott.
I'm here.
Thank you. Jose Reyes.
Here.
Thank you. I have Haley Hernandez for Dave Mock.
Here.
Hi, Haley. Thank you. Donovan Burton.
I'm here virtually.
Hi, Donovan. Thank you. Marty Kelly.
Here.
James. Oh, thank you, Marty. James Blunt. Jamie McCool. Jared Bowen.
Here.
Thank you. John Blunt. Katie Coslin for Anita Machiavello. All right, Chair, we do have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Kendall. Next item is public comments with a limit of 3 minutes. Kendall, do we have anybody signed up to speak?
No, sir, no one has signed up to speak.
All right, thank you. Item 3 is approval of the minutes from the previous Regional Flood Planning Group meeting from January 23rd of 2024. Are there any comments on the minutes or discussion? All right. If nothing to add, could I get a motion to approve the minutes in a second?
Move to approve, Dave.
Second.
Thank you,
Kara.
Dave. Kara, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you. Minutes have been approved. Item number 4, communications from the Texas Water Development Board. Are they,
Katie has not joined us online, but I'll keep an eye out for her as we go.
okay, so we will defer that item in case Katie joins us.
Thank you.
Next item is item 5, chair report. I don't have anything to add, but I just, or nothing new other than to say welcome back. We've had a nice hiatus for the last 4 to 5 months or so. But I appreciate everybody's participation and coming back for, the next round of regional planning, which is our, main objective today is to really kick that off. Next item is item number 6, discussion and appropriate action to nominate planning group members to sit on the River Authority's RFQ scoring team. All right, Kendall.
Thank you. So to evaluate the RFQ for the technical consultant that closed yesterday, we are asking for 3 planning group members to join the scoring team. This is consistent with both last cycle and what we all talked about in January when we met last. And so we need 3 planning group members. Wanted to discuss and select those members today. We will move pretty quickly in terms of our timeline for evaluating the RFQs with a virtual kickoff on June 13th, and then a 2-week scoring period, a virtual meeting on June 26th, And then, if necessary, I'll hold July 8th in the afternoon, that Monday, for possible interviews. And that's up to the discretion of the scoring team. So we need 3 planning group members to join our team that's currently with 2 River Authority staff. So it'll be a 3-2 mix for scoring. And the only rule that I needed to lay out is that we are making an effort not to have a quorum of planning group or a quorum of the existing committees, which is just executive committee. So we can only have 2 members of exec on the scoring team. Otherwise, it would then qualify as a quorum for executive committee meeting. And then we have to go through Open Meetings Act and Public Information Act. So that's the only rule I had to lay down.
Yeah, just to echo that. So as a reminder, the executive committee members are myself, Kara, Dave, Debbie, and Neffy. The 2 Sarah staff that will be participating are Aaron Cavazos and Yasmin Ramones. So that'll be the 2 we've already identified that internally. And I've talked to a couple of folks. I know both Kara and Dave are interested in supporting as members of the selection panel from the region committee, but that is certainly not finalized. And I wanted to throw it out there for the rest of the members, if they have an interest in participating, knowing that there is some time commitment and obligations between now and through end of June, early July to get through that selection interview process. So this is really opening it up to the floor for anybody that is interested in participating. And then we'll see where we go after people express interest.
Kendall, what is the, can you give me a gauge of the interest? How many SOQs came in?
I cannot. I am unaware of that number. That's going to come out with the kickoff meeting and the signed NDAs, so I'm not allowed to disclose, even if I did know.
It has a bearing on me specifically, my ability to do this as far from a time commitment standpoint.
All submittals are submitted and in at this point, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. I'll make the call. I don't see any harm in the number of submittals. So I need to know the number of submittals. Aaron, do you happen to know?
We received 2 submittals.
You received 2 submittals?
Yes.
Thank you.
Were they page limited?
Yeah. I'm going to nominate Debbie. I know Debbie Reed, she's interested.
Thank you, Annalisa. I think it's awesome that you nominated Debbie when she's not here too.
I know, but I do have her permission.
Whether you talk to her or not about it, I think it's great.
Suzanne, do you have interest?
My problem is some of the dates that you've already selected, I have conflicts. So I would be interested, but the dates that are on here, I have conflicts with 2 of those meetings already. So I can't.
Are those, Suzanne, if I could ask you, your conflicts like just that date and time? Like, do you have any like flexibility if it had to shift, or do these have to be?
Like the 13th is, you have from 2 to 2:30, and I have a meeting that ends at 2:30. So, for example, those kinds of things.
The kickoff, we are flexible, and if we do need to, we can have smaller groups do a kickoff. It would just be if we're pushing back, that means less time for you as an individual to score. So that's just something to be aware of. We won't do them before June 13th, but if the next few days works better for you, we'll find a time to kick you off. It just affects the amount of time that you have to score. June 26th is really our firm date for evaluating. So that's when all scores would have had to be in by then, and the team will meet to go through, review the scores that came in, discuss, and come up with a recommendation to be presented to the planning group. So really June 26th is our big.
But like if we did the June 13th at a different time, 30 minutes later, an hour later.
Not a big deal there.
I could do that.
Yeah.
It's just,
That's why I asked.
Yeah. I would be interested, but you already have great people that have already put their names in.
Well, but we're not making a decision either.
I'd love to participate.
Okay.
And the challenge is you can't have Debbie, Dave, and I all on there because we're all 3 exec.
That is correct.
Well, that's right. I could stand down. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of the country from the 13th to the 18th as it is.
Thank you, Dave. Neffy, you have your hand up online?
Yes, thank you, Chair. To avoid any potential, even the image of potential conflict of interest, I would like to nominate both Donovan Burton and Jeff Carroll. They look at RFQs often and many times, and I think they would do great in helping
And
our region.
so that everybody knows, the original selection committee for Sarah was Aaron and Aaron, and for the RFPG was Debbie, myself, and Jeff Carroll.
Yes, for cycle one. Mhm.
I appreciate the nomination, and I was very interested in participating the last week of June, including June 26th. I will be out of the office, so I don't know if that would be a conflict.
Yeah, I would think that was a conflict.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Donovan, you've been nominated. Are you interested?
I wouldn't mind, however, the June 13th, I definitely cannot go to that.
Yeah, we can work around the June 13th.
But yeah, I'll be happy to participate, yes.
Because Kendall, we're trying to limit it to 3 from the RFPG, is that correct?
Yes, I need 3 folks. So right now we have the names out. We have Dave, Kara, Debbie, Suzanne, and Donovan have all been mentioned and for interest.
And Dave, Kara, and Debbie could not all serve together because of the quorum issue for the executive committee.
That is correct.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jose Reyes, and from a small business perspective, I would like to be considered.
Thank you, Jose.
Wow, we've never had this much interest in a selection panel before. Usually everybody steps back and it's like the last, don't make eye contact. This is shocking. Yes, Suzanne.
Well, only thing I was going to say is, as y'all know, Debbie and I would be coming from a similar perspective. So I just want to put that on the table that if Debbie, I know you can't have, you have the issue with the executive committee, but depending on Dave's travel situation, if he has to drop out because of the travel situation and it has to be Debbie, then I would drop out. I don't think what I'm trying to say is I don't think it serves the group well for both Debbie and I to be on the selection committee, since we would probably be looking for the same thing. So I'm just offering that. But I do want that perspective on the group. I think it would be nice, but we both don't have to do
Kendall,
it.
can you give me that list of candidates again?
Yes, sir. It's yourself, Kara, Debbie, Suzanne, Donovan, and Jose. Robert Reyna, we see you joined us. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, guys. Sorry I'm late. Couldn't get it, had trouble getting into the meeting, but I'm in now. Thanks.
All good. Thanks, Robert. Is there any further discussion now that we have shockingly 6 people to fill 3 vacancies? Kendall, this is so new that I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, how we handle this, because it's usually like squeaking by and getting people.
You keep looking at me, but I'm not sure either. I was going to say, I think that going through just confirming that these 6 still have interest. So Dave, looking at these dates, knowing travel, knowing that June 13th is our most flexible, June 26th has to be at that time and be free for the duration of that time. And then the possibility of interviews, acknowledging that we've already stated we received 2 responses. So considering that in terms of whether or not interviews would be held. Dave, do you still have interest?
Have you received all submittals, or is the deadline for submittals not?
Deadline was yesterday. We're closed.
Hang on, checking calendar.
Thank you.
Yes, I could still be considered. I should have enough time to review 2 submittals.
Thank you, Dave. Kara, are you still interested?
Yes, ma'am.
Annalisa for Debbie. Would Debbie, those dates work for Debbie?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, she'll be back from vacation by then, so I think so.
Okay, you're signing her up. If she ends up on this group, she has to be. Suzanne, are you still interested?
Yes, I'm still interested.
Thank you. Donovan, knowing those dates?
So is this where we start debating on getting off of the list? No, I'm.
That's absolutely not what I'm doing.
You can do that too if you want.
I'm happy to pull my name off. We've got a lot of interest and a lot of people with certainly plenty of experience, so we can take my name off.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you,
Thanks,
Donovan.
Donovan.
Jose, confirming those dates with your calendar?
Yeah, those days work with me, but I'll pull myself out with a lot of experience out there. I'm okay with that.
Okay, thank you. So we are Dave, Kara, Debbie, and Suzanne, being mindful that we have 3 executive committee members on that list and could only have a maximum of 2.
After going through that, my proposal would be Dave, Kara, and Suzanne to keep it from being a quorum, but also understanding the commonality of who the interest groups are that Debbie and Suzanne represent. So I will.
I second that, Chair.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you. That's a motion from Chair Bays and second from Mr. Garza.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, everybody, both for your interest initially, and then also the time obligation it will take to get a good selection, to go through a good selection process and get a good firm or team on board for this effort. Next item is public comments. Kendall.
No one has signed up to speak.
Okay. Next item, date and potential agenda items for the next meeting. Kendall's got something, and then I'll open it up to the group for any discussion or comments.
Thank you. So TWDB has asked that we begin the contracting process with the technical consultant in August. So being mindful of that, I would like to propose that we look at the week of July 29th, maybe August 5th, to have a planning group meeting. We would be able to hear the recommendation from the scoring team at that time.
Are there any deadlines that we have to meet for the state, Kendall, in terms of when we have to approve by to make sure we meet their criteria?
The planning group does not have a deadline in terms of making that selection. TWDB has asked that the sponsor be in contracting with them and to be in the middle of that process, if not finish that process in August. So that's why we would like to get that earlier in the month to give some time to process the contract.
Are there any thoughts on the week of July 29th, or you said the week of August 5th, Kendall? Okay.
I'm out basically 1st of August through the 6th of August. So
Yeah, I would say priority should be not that the whole group isn't important, but the evaluation committee, the selection committee members, we need to accommodate their schedules as much as possible.
So either early the week of the 29th or later the week of the 5th.
Yeah,
Can I propose the 8th of August?
that's Kara's birthday.
It
Oh,
is
is
my
it?
birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kara. I didn't know that. you may not want to.
What a way to celebrate,
How about
though.
the 9th then? I didn't know that was your birthday. I'm
We'll
I'm
have cake.
traveling the
We'll
I'm
have cake that
traveling
day.
the 29th and 30th. I mean, I'm on a business trip the 29th through the 1st or 2nd, something like that.
How does the
2nd, I could do the 2nd.
8th? I know it's your birthday. You okay?
It's fine. Yeah, 8th or 9th is fine
We
with
can have
me.
drinks right after.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm clear.
David, what's that? I said right after. I didn't say during. So I can clarify for the record. Okay, so I'm hearing that the 8th is a pretty good date, at least for the evaluation committee. Any other major concerns if we go with the 8th? That's a Thursday. Yeah, I think same general time frame of 2, Kendall. Yeah, unless you're Carrie, you good with that? Okay. All right, then let's set it for August 8th, Thursday at 2 p.m. And it'll be both in person and virtual, just like we are today.
Yes, sir. Can do.
That'll be the main topic, but I also want to open it up to the planning group for any other items that they would like to talk about or put on the group's radar. One thing I would say is as we go through the evaluation process and hire a technical consultant, we need to think about what committees or subcommittees, I should say, we stand up to go through the next cycle. Certainly open to discussion. I think we got more value out of the technical, the communications committee. Suzanne, please feel free to chime in, but I felt like it's kind of a struggle, and we could have spent a lot valuable time, a lot better than that. Okay. So I would say the technical committee is an absolute. We have to have that. And if you're interested in that, and if there's something else that people think might be important for a subcommittee, think about that and bring that forward. But my inclination would be to do away with the communications committee and as we go forward.
One of the things that, and I don't have it right in front of me, but in some of the recommendations I think we made in the plan, we talked about the need to kind of educate. I mean, and to figure out what we can do as a regional planning group to educate the community about the process, what we're doing, et cetera. So, I mean, that's one area that I think maybe I'm not suggesting a committee on that, but I was just thinking about that was something that we recognized as a void. And then also some of the policy issues, maybe the idea of spending more time around the policy issues. It seemed a little rushed at the end of the process to kind of figure out what those policy issues are, and those are becoming more conversations around the policy issues is starting to materialize. So I was just thinking those two areas, there may be interest in thinking about that, just as a put it on the table as a suggestion.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think those are both appropriate, especially I was thinking about as we're gearing up for the next session. And obviously this is a 5-year, planning cycle process, but there's only a couple of sessions in the middle of that. And so from a policy or just perspective or what different other, I'll say special interest groups are advocating for or against, I think the timing is good to have that discussion about policy early on, because it is going to take the technical consultant, whoever that may be, some time to get under contract, get up and running, start that process. So I would envision the first at least couple of months after August would be probably more focused on those sorts of items versus technical details. That's my guess. Yeah. Thank you, Suzanne. Any other, feedback from the group on things to think about, or as we start this process and go down the road?
Chair, if I may chime in, I would be interested in hearing how our projects scored. When we provided our input and the projects from our region, I remember seeing an email from the board demonstrating how our projects ranked and scored overall. I would be curious. I don't know if that's something the River Authority could do, to collect some of that information, how they scored, and then maybe dig into them a little bit to see, was there any weaknesses and was there things that we need to focus on? Was our, I don't know, just get a better sense of where we're sitting with all of those. Do you think that would be possible?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Kendall, were you going to chime in on that?
We can certainly present on where our submittals ended up in terms of the rankings. I'd have to go back and confirm that we saw a scoring matrix though, because off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure we don't know how well each proposal scored. We just saw the rankings, but I would have to go back and check that. But I don't remember seeing in terms of addressing weaknesses, I wouldn't have that opportunity to say that we missed points in this category.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that the draft was early on when they were drafting the ranking methodology, but in terms of the draft state flood plan that's been published for comment, that is didn't have a ranking spreadsheet. Or it didn't have a scoring spreadsheet.
We will dive into that because I think it's a good point, Neffy, in figuring out, to help both our, the stakeholders and everybody that's put in projects or could potentially put in projects, what they're considering and why, which is why we were making such a deal for so long about understanding all the evaluation criteria that Water Development Board was going to use and the weightings of those criteria.
And yeah, I had a question. So is the scoring going to be made available to the applicants?
I'll go back and double check because the scores themselves may have been published. I don't know if we got breakdowns of the actual scoring process, but we'll be able to present as much information as possible at this August 8th meeting in terms of how we did. I know the comment period is still open for the draft flood plan. So if you haven't checked that out to look through it, provide comments, I would encourage folks to do so. TWDB ended up not joining us today. I was hoping they would speak to that, but it's still open, I believe, for another week.
What, June 17th or something like that?
I thought
Yes.
13th, maybe one of those. We'll call it 15.
Coming up shortly.
Okay.
Other items for future consideration or topics in general for us to think about? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today and participating. Kendall, date and time of next meeting, please say it one more time.
We will meet next on August 8th at 2 o'clock.
Awesome, thank you. So with that, could I get a motion and a second to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Dave?
Second, Kara.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.